What's up, guys? Okay, so day 2, making videos every day. Technically I posted one this morning, but that's because I had a lot of homework and it took forever to render and I fell asleep. Anyway, today's video is gonna be a story about how I managed to break both my arms at the same time. Here's a picture. Alright, so I was in Boy Scouts and we went on this trip. I was in like the 7th grade. We went on this trip in like January, February, around that time, and we went snowboarding. So like some people were skiing, some people were snowboarding. I chose to snowboard because I had skateboarded and I felt confident that I'd be able to do it. Right, we got there, or we slept at cabins, we woke up, went to the lodge. Okay, so when we first got there, we went straight to the equipment checkout or whatever. So I checked out boots, because you gotta have like special boots to go into the board. I checked out a board, and I checked out, I think, a helmet. I think you had to wear a helmet. What I also should have checked out, which I realize now, is wrist guards, but that wasn't like required, and I don't even know if they had those specifically. I know since the trip, the Boy Scouts organization that I was with, they now require wrist guards on that trip. Anyway, I went to the training or whatever. I went to the training and I learned how to snowboard. So I learned how to stop facing backwards, facing forwards. I learned how, like, generally how to move the board, and I was getting pretty good at it. So there's like 2 different slopes that I went on that day. There's like the kiddie slope where you learn and where the class was. There was another slope. Then there were like a bunch of other ones that like I didn't go to because I was just starting, so there's no way. So I practiced on the kiddie slope a bunch. I felt comfortable, so I went on the other one and I did okay. Like, it was shaky and I felt like I was going too fast because I wasn't comfortable with it, but I did it and I was fine. Then me and my friend Aaron started messing around and we were racing each other because we were like seeing who could get to the bottom first. Anyway, well, that's what racing is. Anyway, we raced like 4 or 5 times and everything was fine. Like, I won a couple times, he won a couple times. He was on skis, I was on a snowboard. And the last time we raced, we were going down and I was losing, so I started going faster. And then there's this girl who was like coming across, and I saw her out the corner of my eye, and I figured she would stop or like not go right in front of me. So I was like, okay, but she didn't. She kept coming and she went right in front of me, so I had to stop really fast. And I was brand new at snowboarding, so I did the stop where I turn around, and you turn around and you have like your back facing down the slope. I did that one. Then my board, because like I was still going kind of fast and I hadn't stopped going that fast before, so when I stopped, my momentum kept going backwards down the slope, and the back of my board caught and it like flung me backwards onto my arms. From that point on, it was just excruciating pain like all through my arms. So basically I laid there like hunched over, holding my arms. My friend Aaron came over. He's like, "You good?" And I was like sitting there like, I was doing that for a little bit. Then the tears started coming because like it hurt a lot. And then I remember one of my friend's dads coming over and asking if I was okay, and I told him no. This like all went kind of fast. And then I remember like the medical people coming over, and they were like helping me up, and I like tried to push off my arms like that, and that was the dumbest thing ever. They hurt so bad. I fell back down and they're like, "Don't use your arms, don't use your arms." I was like, "You couldn't have told me that before I tried to use my arms." I mean, technically I should have known not to use my arms, but in the moment I was just trying to get up because my arms hurt. I had never broken anything before. I didn't know, but I tried to push up. It hurt really, really bad. I fell back down. They picked me up. They took me to the medical tent, and in the medical tent, that's when I like realized what had happened, and I just started crying. And like, they had to cut off my favorite hoodie and my jacket. Then they put like these moldable fiberglass splints on, and then I got into a car and drove, not an ambulance, but like a car, and drove to the hospital. And like from there, like I know I fell asleep on the way. When I got there, I woke up and I remember my arms were sore. I fell asleep again, and then I remember getting x-rays. That hurt a little bit. And once I was done with the x-rays, we waited a little bit, and then they came back and they told us, they were like, alright, there's a possibility that you broke both of your arms. And I was like, are you kidding me? And what's funny about this is right before I left, right, I was watching a bunch of snowboarding videos because I was like really hyped for the trip. I was watching a bunch of snowboarding videos. I was watching like how to snowboard, and then like the videos started turning into like injuries of snowboarding. So like right before I walked out the door, the thing I said to my parents, I said, wish me luck so I don't break my arm. So obviously they didn't wish hard enough because I broke them both. I remember after I left the hospital, they were pretty sure that I broke both arms. We ended up going to like some restaurant or something. They asked my dad if he wanted to drive all the way up. I was like really tired at this point because like one, shock, two, I was just really tired because it was like 2 a.m. So I remember like after we found out, we got back in the car, and I remember waking up and we were at like Waffle House or something. Went to Waffle House, and then I remember waking up again. I think I fell asleep in Waffle House, and I woke up again getting into my dad's car. And then I remember going home, coming inside, laying on the couch upstairs, which the picture you saw earlier, here it is again. That's me laying on the couch with my arms like basically like that. I think that was the next day, but yeah, I was just laying there and it sucked. I didn't go to school for a while, like a week or a week and a half, something like that. Anyway, I basically just laid there. It was hard to eat because like with casts on, like it's hard to eat. When I first got home, I had the white fiberglass splints from the urgent care or whatever, and then a couple days after that, like they had to wait for the swelling to go down a little bit to put on my actual cast. So after that happened, I went to this doctor's office and they put the actual cast on my arms, and the first one was the elbow cast and then the short cast, and then they didn't set it right or whatever. When I went back a week after I got the initial cast on, it didn't set right. So he was like, alright, you got two options. We can either leave it and it won't be that much of a problem, but it won't be perfect, or I can re-break it and reset it. And in my head I was like, okay, I know which one's gonna hurt. I was like in the 7th grade, and obviously I still got my entire life ahead of me, so I didn't want like my arm to not be the way it was before. If I know I can make something better, like I have the option, I'm gonna go with that option. That's why I like braces, and I chose to have him re-break my arm. While I was awake, sitting there, he grabbed my arm, squeezed it. I had a belt in my mouth. I had teeth marks in that belt, and like that hurt. That was probably worse than breaking my own arm. But he put another elbow cast on. So this is the second elbow cast, and then the same cast on this side. Then I went a couple weeks after that. I got this cast off, and then this cast down to a short cast, so I only have one cast. And that wasn't so bad. Like I still couldn't do anything, but at least I could move my elbow. School was pretty difficult, because obviously like when people break their arm, a lot of times they have to learn how to rewrite with their other hand. Well, both of my arms are broken, so how am I supposed to write with my hand? I figured it out. It's honestly not that hard, unless you have like the cast that like covers fingers or like your thumb. If you just have like the cast that like stops here and like around your thumb, then you can like easily write. But yeah, breaking my arms was not a fun experience, especially breaking both of them. When I went back to school, everybody, including my teachers, expected me to have like the full-on like cast like this, where they have like the bar here so you can't move your arms. No, I broke my arm here, here, and here. So like one bone in this arm and both of them in this arm. Like in order for me to have like this thing, I would have had to have like broken like a whole bunch of like stuff. So anyway, I'm fine now. That was a interesting experience. I don't want to do it again, and I might go snowboarding again, but I'm gonna be hesitant. Anyway, that does it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Share it with a friend, because if you saw my last video, if my channel gets to 200 subscribers, I'll post that video of me being a runway model in pink high heels. So yeah, subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next video.